So, welcome back, everybody. Good afternoon. Here is Francesco again, live from Tamburi Mundi channel, YouTube channel. Again, me. But relax, it's not a coup d'etat. It's just because Murat also today could not be here, so I'm the second announcer in charge. And we will spend together another couple of hours also this afternoon, talking with people and making something together and make some exercises and workshops and knowing each other better. So the first guest we have is a man that I know quite good and I really love so much and I miss him. And I think that everybody is watching now. And so please give a warm welcome to Mr. Dave Boyd. Dave, can you
Hi,
hear me?
I can hear you. Yeah, how you doing?
Prova, prova, sa.
You
Eccoci.
you can
Yeah,
hear me
voice,
also.
but
Yeah.
dude, are you there? I cannot hear your voice.
Oh, you can't. Hold
Ah,
on.
yeah. Now,
You can
yes.
now.
Now
Okay.
it's just a volume meter. Yes, now we
Okay.
fix.
This is part of the ritual of Zoom. We have
We
to
have to
see.
do this, no, you know.
Yes. Can you hear
Otherwise,
me? Can
can you
you
hear
hear
me?
me?
Now it's
Can you hear me?
slow,
Yeah.
please. Yeah. Okay, that's it. So it's good to see you.
You too, man.
Everything is good. I hope so.
Sure. I'm here in the studio with the dog. Life is good.
Murphy, nice. So everyone knows who is Dave Boyd. Is an amazing Boran player, but also a frame drum player, and he is doing something, some research and some exploration with the electronics in the last months, especially. So today we will give us a short impulse, I think, on this, but you will explain better.
Yeah, I will. I I came to frame drumming later in my musical life. When I was a kid, I trained as a pianist, and you become a keyboard player because it's the 80s. We played keyboards, so I was really into synthesizers, and I still am. So I've really wanted to kind of combine the two worlds, the kind of the simplicity of the drum with the kind of infinite possibilities of electronics and synthesizers. It's too big a topic to discuss in half an hour.
Sure.
It's because people have careers just doing this, producers and this kind of stuff. So what I've done, because of lockdown, I have no one to play with. And there's only a certain amount that you can do alone. So I've tried to create a dialogue with the effects and synthesizers and things that I have in the studio so that I can use them essentially as a partner. But what I thought it might be interesting for people to do, to hear, is just if I go through the basic kinds of effects that are available. And I'm using pedals that are normally used by guitarists. So you're not supposed to put a drum through these, really. And I quite like that. There is a great quote from Brian Eno who said that one of the things about technology as an artist is that you have to use it until it breaks. And that's where you find the interesting stuff. So he talks about how blues singers would sing with such power and such force that their voice would break and you would get that lovely gravelly quality. And then electric guitars, people turned the amplifiers up so loud that they started to distort. Now distortion is a thing, and so on. So I basically, this is not how to make your drums sound beautiful in a recording. This is how to use the effects, the same kind of effects that we use to do that, to do something else. And I'll just give examples of things to kind of give people an idea who may or may not know. So the first thing I'm going to talk about is reverb. And reverb is short for reverberation. And it's when you go into a large space and you sing or go or whatever, the sound bounces around off the walls and reflects off all of the surfaces in the space. Those reflections are what we call reverb. And human beings, we enjoy reverb, particularly because it's really nice to sing with reverb. This is why we build huge, great buildings to go and sing inside. And there's some very interesting research that Neolithic people who built mound structures, that these were designed for people to go and sing inside because the reverb is a particular kind of reverb. So everything that I'm doing is, I would love to show you all of the wiring and stuff, but it's super, I could spend 2 hours just explaining how to plug everything in. It's too much.
So let's have this half an hour, and I leave you the whole screen to show us something. Okay,
it's
so
weeks and weeks and weeks of this. So here's my drum. Here's the sound of my drum. Now, there's no reverb on this drum. It sounds, the microphone is in the back here. The microphone is going to the effects and back out, but the effects aren't switched on. So the first thing I'm going to do is switch on the effects. So here's some reverb. And I'm suggesting that if folks are watching this on the channel, this is headphones territory. You won't hear this really well with the little speakers on your laptop or on your phone. So if you have headphones or earbuds, pop them in so you can hear this. So there's some reverb. It adds a width and a duration to the sound. And this particular reverb is from Carnegie Hall in New York. So if you want to know what it's like to play in Carnegie Hall, it's like this. So that's what Carnegie Hall sounds like. They've sampled the reverb in there. That's how reverb works. Reverb is really nice when you're playing something that is slow. It can get tricky when you're playing fast because the amount of time the sound takes to reflect back and forwards gets in the way of playing percussion. So that's a really simple reverb. You can get more complicated reverbs, which are actually more interesting. So this reverb doesn't start until I play. I can't explain it. I strike the drum, the reverb happens, and I strike the drum and I stop the reverb. So listen. So this is beautiful for creating a kind of a drone or atmosphere around something. Really nice. One of the things that I'm doing is I'm trying to use all of these effects musically. So I don't think I have a piece of a cycle that I've made or a piece that I've composed, and now I'm going to put effects on it. I try to work with the effect as a musical element to what I'm doing. So I have to improvise a little bit with the effect. And because this is not... The microphone sometimes picks up things that I didn't play, or it picks certain sounds up stronger, then there's a little element in which the reverb or the effect is improvising with me, which is cool. So I'm not quite sure how the effect is going to respond, which is really interesting as a musician, because you end up playing with another improvising element which you're creating. That's kind of complicated. Have a listen to another reverb here. So this is a really interesting, I think, this is a reverb, it's called a shimmer reverb, and it adds tonal elements to the reverb. It adds a certain kind of series of overtones and partials inside the reverb. It's let me just play. It's very beautiful. So this is shimmer, kind of a reverb. All of these effects are digital. So what's happening is the microphone is picking up the sound from the drum. It's going to a computer. It's being turned into a digital signal, going to the effects, coming out to the headphones as an analog signal. So that because it's digital, I can pretty much do anything with it. Once I get the sound into the computer world, I can do anything with it, literally anything. So for example, I can reverse the reverb. So I can make the reverb run backwards. I'll just let you hear what that sounds like. So, as you can see, that becomes a musical element. It becomes a rhythmic element that I can use to improvise with. So that's reverb. There's a lot more, but that gives you an idea into how you can use reverb. If you have any questions, of course, you can put them in the chat and I'll try and answer them. I'm sure people will want to know technically what's going on, and I'll try and answer that. Reverb, huge part of working with the drum. It makes the drum a wider and more sustained instrument if you use reverb with it, so that you can create drones. But also it can create a sort of muddy, complex sound that you don't want. So it's quite a It's quite a trick to learn how to use a reverb, particularly a big long one. So now I'm going to talk about delay. A delay is what happens when you have a reverb that is... So imagine you're standing at the side of a lake, and on the opposite side of the lake there is a cliff. And if you shout, the sound goes straight across the lake and straight back. Unlike reverb, where the sound bounces around off many surfaces, it goes across and back. And the time it takes to do that creates what we call an echo. An echo is it's the sound after a few seconds or milliseconds. Delay is the same thing, except we have control over the time between the sound the impulse sound and the sound that comes back, and also the number of times the sound repeats and how loud each of the repeats are. So here's a delay. So I can tell you that delay is quarter notes at 120 beats a minute, because that's what I programmed. So if I do a bit of bodhrán playing, delays are quite interesting with faster rhythms. So that's how delay works. I really like delay. One of the interesting things that you can do with delay is that you can program polyrhythms, that you can make a polyrhythm happen as part of the delay. I'll set one of those up. Hang on. So now the delay is on the quarter note and the half note triplet. So this means that I can set up a polyrhythm. And with frame drum style, it's a little difficult because we're looking for the delay picks up the transients. So that's delay. I'm just showing you briefly what things are because there's a lot. The next thing I want to talk about is pitch. So that I can, with an effect, I can change the pitch of the drum. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to drop the pitch of the drum an octave. So here's the drum. Here's it with the octave. Which means you can play bass lines. There's no synthesizer happening here. This is literally the sound of the drum dropped an octave. There's the drum. There's the drum dropped an octave. Now I can start to get a little bit more creative with this, and I can drop the drum an octave and add some fuzz. So fuzz is something you would normally associate with an electric guitar, and it adds a sort of gritty, overdriven quality. I like that sound a lot. It works really nicely with the bowron. It's very nice because the tone from the drum triggers the sound really well. The brush I'm using helps me to leave some space. If I play it with a stick, it's a bit more ugly. But I don't know, somebody might dig that for dancing to. There's something else you can do with pitch changing. You can use delay and pitch changing together. And this is something that I really like to do. So the delay, as well as playing back the sound, it changes the pitch of the sound. So I have a delay here. And if you can hear, that's doing the same note again and then down a fifth. I've written a whole piece just for that one effect. I have a couple of other things to show you, some of which are a bit wacky. Now, distortion. Distortion is something that you use, you'd find usually on guitars in, metal bands and things like that. So I decided, well, I'm going to run the bowron through a distortion and see what that sounds like. And it sounds like this. And, okay, that's kind of interesting, but the distortion isn't sustaining. So I'm going to use another effect. To sustain the distortion. So I have this, and I have a pedal to control how much of this there is. So. Again, it's a lovely effect. I have to leave a space for the effect. The effect is essentially playing the role of another musician. I have one more thing to show you. So this is a combination of a lot of those ideas. It's reverb plus a delay plus pitch changing to create a system like you would find in the music of Steve Reich. So So that's a very quick run through the kind of effects that you can use with frame drums and with the Bowron. There are thousands, and I guess one of the easiest ways to do this is there are free downloadable DAWs that you can get for your computer. Reaper is one, and you can try them out. You plug your drum into the computer with a sound card and put an effect in the channel and listen to it. The two pieces of advice I would have was that you have to listen to the effect as though it were another musician, otherwise you'll end up fighting with it, and that effects are very much like chili. If you put too much, you can't stomach it. Francesco, I have something to play you. And to play the people. So I have a project that I'm delighted to kind of tell you about. It's with Andrea Piccioni. And this is very new and very not finished. But I thought you'd like to hear some of the music. The principle for this project was, what if normally the frame drum is used to accompany traditional and acoustic music. Very often old traditional and acoustic music. So the principle was, well, what if we used frame drums to accompany contemporary electronic music? So I started writing, and the difficulty that I found immediately was that electronic music is, because it's usually used for dancing, it's very hard to write electronic music in odd time signatures. The button, it doesn't come with a 7/8, so it's quite complex to kind of make synthesizers work in 7/8 or 9/8 or whatever. So I'm going to play you a little excerpt of this. In this sample, in this excerpt, everything is, so there's lots of synthesizers and the drums are live. So there's no processing on. There's a little bit of processing on the drums, but everything else is synthesizers, and they are analog synthesizers. So for those of you who are into that kind of stuff, it's old Moog synthesizers, a thing called a Yamaha CS80, which you would hear in Blade Runner, and a thing called a VCS3, which you would hear on things like Dark Side of the Moon and stuff like that. Okay, so let me just play. I'm going to play a little sample of it because I'm interested to see what people think. Here you go.
Wow,
So
it's very new. It's something very different. I mean, we can recognize the tamburello and the boran uh, sounds, but it's like very in a different way. So I like it very much. I
it
think
really works. It really.
it works.
What's very interesting is that the bauron and the tamborello they sit very nicely in the bottom of a mix.
Sure.
You know, in the kind of very low tones, and so the synthesizers and stuff sit above them, and I wasn't expecting it to sound as punchy as it does.
Absolutely.
But yeah, so we're working on this. Andrea and I are currently working on developing ideas and figuring out how to program.
Cool. So maybe next year you will present the result of this research and this
That would be,
exploration.
yeah, that would be. I would love to do that, and people could dance. That would be great.
Yeah, sure, sure.
If anyone has any questions about the technical stuff, put them in there.
Write it in the chat, yes, and Dave will answer you. So for now, Dave, just thank you so much for this chat and this Impulse workshop. I hope to see you very, very soon.
You too, man.
Yeah, and say hello to Freya and to Murphy.
I will. Hey,
Yeah.
Murphy, Francesco says hello. He doesn't care.
Keep in touch.
Keep in
And then,
touch.
so applause to Dave
Ciao,
Boy.
ciao, ciao.
And we'll continue in just few seconds actually with me. We do some technical stuff in lap style, just short second break, and we will come back in Tamburi Mundi channel. We are online. Yeah, okay, so welcome back. Just the time I took my drum and my jingle foot, and welcome back to this frame drum workout with me. So today we have this 25 minutes more or less to work on something, and I'd like to continue with some snapping technique on lap style, and we will see a short composition maybe that I used for a workshop, and I adapted also for by our next guest, who will be to our fresco, and then so we just focus. I just put like this. We just focus on the snapping today, on the snapping on the drum. So as you see, we have this technique, and we will focus on the snapping rolls. Yeah, so we have the 8-bit snapping rolls, which is takadimi takadimi or takadimi takajuno. We start like with the right hand, with the ta, or with the dum, or with the pa. You can start whatever you want. Today we will start with the ta on the rim. Then we have 3 finger snap on the left hand, one with the ring finger, one with the middle finger, and one with the index finger. So when we snap, we just put our thumb like this, so in front of the drum. Then we put the finger, for example, the ring finger, on the thumb, and just let it go on the rim, without forcing, without pushing, without tension, just we let go. And we recognize then when we do this, automatically the other finger is falling on the thumb, the medium, see? Automatically. So we are ready to snap again with the other finger, the medium, and we do the same stuff. Now, we can also snap with the index finger in the same way, like this, but I would suggest you for the snapping with the index finger that, as you can see, when we finish to snap with the medium finger, we have the index finger which is upon the medium. So we can snap putting the index finger upon the medium and let it go. Yeah, this is the 3. Then we have the 3 on the right, which is more or less the same thing. We have the thumb going outside the drum, and we do exactly the same thing, but this time with the index finger on the thumb. Why? Because of the position of the end. Our position in the end now, it's not upon, but it's like that. So we can split, we can snap also with the index finger going upon the thumb. And we should think this as a flow. So the movement should be very flowly, the flowless you can. So we not have to put tension and then to take out the hand of the finger and then again put the medium on the thumb and doing stuff like that. It's not this. Better this. It's not this. But we just let the fingers flow. So we have 3 on the left, and 3 on the right. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. The 8-beat rolls so will be 1, then 3 on the left, 3 on the right, and the last again on the left. You can snap with the 4th finger, I snap with the medium finger usually. So it's ta, ca, di, mi, ta, ca, giù, no, ta, ca, di, mi, ta, ca, giù, no, ta, ca, di, mi, ta, ca, giù, no. When you do this, just take care that every nerve, every single part of your arms, of the wrist, the elbow, the fingers should be very relaxed. No tension, especially when we snap. We snap without pushing. It's not this, otherwise we could have some pain and some problems. So it's very, very slow. Just don't care in the beginning about the sound of the strongness of the beats. Just take care about the flowing and the correct movement and the correct position. So this is the 8-beat rolls, yes? Then we have the 4-beat rolls, which is exactly the half, of course. And we just can do this starting by, for example, again by a ta, if we won't start with an accent, and then just doing the left hand. Taka di mi do, taka di mi do, taka di mi do, taka di mi do, taka di mi do. Another way to do the 4-beat roll, snapping, for example, if we have no accents, just takadimi and then the accent is in the end, we can start with the right hand, so doing 1, 2, 3, 4. So it depends on what you are playing and what kind of color you want to do, to start with an accent, because for example often we do a doom. Yeah, or just like this. Then we have the 3 beat rolls, snapping. Also here, same approach. We could start with the ta. So 1 and the other 2 on the left hand. Ta, ki, ta. Or if we don't want to give an accent in the beginning, we just do with the right hand the first 2, ta, ki, the last with the left hand, and then the accent, the doom, the pa, or whatever. Yeah. Then we have the 2 beat roll, takadum. Again, we can do ta, ta, dum. So accent, accent, ta, dum, ta, dum, ta, dum, ta, dum, ta, ta. But if we don't want the accent, for sure we can also alternate and do right, left, right. But in this case, I will suggest to do just with the left hand, because we have this falling down, this flowing, so we can just do ring finger, middle finger, do. And also we can adjust the speed. It could be like a mordente, marciacatura. Or it could be also slower. For this reason, I advise to do the takadum if in this shape with the left hand. Then we have it's not a roll, just tadum. And of course, this we will do tadum or tapa or whatever, ta accent. We do with left hand and right hand. Easy. So again, the whole thing, 8 beat rolls. Taka, di, mi, taka, juno. Taka, di, mi, taka, let's assume that we start with an accent. Yeah, 4 beat rolls. Three beat rolls. Two beat. One. Okay, let's now just practice this on a composition which, as I said, I adapted from Master Zohar, who will come later, which is very nice for this, and I used for the workshops, and we use all of this stuff. So yeah, that one. So we just 4 beats. Let's just have a rapid look and say it with the voice, and then we'll play. Yes, just from the top to the end. 1, 2, 3, and go. And taka dimmi dum dum ta, taka dimmi dum dum ta, taka dimmi dum, taka dimmi dum dum ta ta, taka dimmi dum dum ta ta, taka dimmi dum. Taka dimmi dum dum ta ta ta, taka dimmi dum dum ta ta ta, taka dimmi dum, 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 taka dimmi dum. Takita dum, takita dum, takita dum, taka dum, taka dum, taka dum, tak 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 dum. I hope that everybody is watching is used with this kind of notation, but it's quite easy. It's the semantic notation. Every beat is written, and then the small lines are the gaps in the same subdivision. So we are working on 1, 2, 3, 4 shragati. I mean 4 to 1, 4 subdivision each beat. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, yes? So let's try to play this very slowly. You try again together. I will go very, very slow using the snapping roll we just saw. So in the first lines we have the 8-beat rolls, takadimi, 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 takajuno, it's the same thing, repeated in the first 4 lines, in the first 6 lines actually. Then we start to cut, and then we have takadimidum, then we have takitadum, then we have takadum, tadum. I know that the shape in the end could be a little bit tricky because doom and ta are shifting, yes, but try to follow. We go very slow. Okay? So very slow. 1, 2, 3, taka, ni, mi, 1, 2, ready, go. Taka, di, mi, taka, di, mi, dum, dum, taka, di, mi, taka, di, mi, dum, ta, I hope that you could follow the melody and the switching accent. So this is a good exercise to repeat, to remind, and to practice also the snapping. Just when you do this, please, again, keep in mind that you don't have to push, you don't have to force, you have to be very relaxed. The sound will come, just take care about the position of the hand and the right movement, the flowing. Will come. So again, last time we do from the top, same thing. Tac, tac. Again, also, you can leave the paper, you can leave the sheet, yeah. Thank you. Yalla. 1, 2, 1, 2, ready, go. Taka, di, mi, taka, ju, no, no, no. Taka, di, mi, taka, ju, no. Taka, di, mi, taka, ju, no, no. Taka, di, mi, taka, ju, Okay, that's it for today. Thank you. So keep practicing. If there's any question, anything, whatever, just write in the chat and I will answer. Thank you for this. And then we just have a 30-second, 1-minute break, and then we will continue with our next guest, which for me it's a great pleasure to see him, which is Master Zohar Fresco. So just 1 minute and we will come back. Thank you. Bye-bye. See you in a while. Started, yeah. Okay, welcome back. Oh, sorry, it's there. I would like to present. Yeah. So the second part of our YouTube Tamburi Mundi YouTube channel, I'm. You saw him already. You see him already in Zoom. For me, it's a great pleasure to meet him, and I have to say I'm excited because he's. I have to say my main teacher is keeps to be sure. Also, the composition I just showed is adapted from him, and I did it like an homage for him for today. So I'm very excited to have this chat today, and I would like to say for my side and for Tamburi Mundi, the great warm welcome to Master Zohar Fresco with us.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Can you hear me? Well,
Very good, very good. Yes.
super, super, very nice. Thank you, Francesco. It was very nice to see you after such a long time.
Too
Oh my
much.
God,
For me,
too
it's too
much.
much. For me, it's
Yeah,
too much.
crazy period. Yes, yes.
Yeah.
Bravo. I heard you before. Very, very nice. I'm very proud and happy.
Thank you.
It's very, very good. So tell me, what asked me to join you?
Yeah.
So what are we? I mean, I understood that we'll have like a small interview, right? By you?
Exactly. Yes. Which
Yeah.
for me, it's quite curious to interview you, but anyway, it's a pleasure. Uh, I should tell that because, as I said, I followed Zohar for a long time. So I saw him in Israel, in Greece. We met, and so it's my teacher. That's it.
Yeah.
So
Italy, don't forget.
in Italy, yes, also. So
Yeah.
he is actually my teacher. Just that. So I have.
Well, it's my pleasure. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's. I mean, well, I have to say some compliments. So you are
No. You don't have.
one
It's
of the
just
best students I had. So super.
no. No, you
I'm
have the
proud.
that.
I'm
No,
proud to have you as a student. Yeah.
thank you.
Okay. Yeah. Let's continue. Okay.
Continue. We are
Yeah.
just here to talk about you. So
Oh. Okay.
your musical background, but also your story, your personal story of what you would like to tell us about your personal story, and so this chat is meant to better know our musicians here that go around in Tamburi Mundi circus. So the first question I would like to ask you, because you live in Israel, you were born there, and so you still live there.
Yeah.
So how was your first approach to music, and how did you come to frame drums?
Okay. So I'm the first one who was born in Israel from my family. My family came here to Israel from Turkey, from Istanbul. So all my family, actually most of my family in Istanbul. I'm living in Israel, but my father, my mother, grandpa, grandma here. So my grandfather just came here when my mom was very young. Um, so I have like a background of Turkish culture very, very strong. Um, actually, I grew up in Israel, Tel Aviv. It's Middle East, but probably some of you know that Israel and Tel Aviv specifically, it's more about East and West. I cannot say it's very East, and I cannot say it's very West. That's actually nice because you can find everything here. So, but I grew up in Tel Aviv. As I said, my child home, let's say my child family, they were very Turkish food, music, and the culture and the behave, at home and everything. So I got everything like very concentrate about Turkish culture. Also music, of course. And I just I was very young kid, and then all the time, when we eat and stuff like that, so we're getting together all the time. Music is there, with the cassettes or with vinyls, and I just heard a classical Turkish music, like old. And then after a while, I understood that my grandpa was a great musician in Turkey, and his name is my name is by him actually, Zohar Yitzhak Fresco, and Yitzhak Fresco was him. So Zohar is a new name, yeah, by the Kabbalah, the book of Kabbalah and stuff like that. So, so I don't remember when I was first time in music. I was always there, always there. So, but how I come to the drums? So my grandpa, when he come from Istanbul to Tel Aviv, so he brought with him two child and one darbuka, Turkish darbuka, which is a snapping playing, and I was fascinating by that. And I was born with this darbuka, so it was my best toy and my best friend, and I was like playing all the time. So in that time, of course, no internet and YouTube, no friend around the world. So you just sit alone at home and just listen to music from vinyl and cassettes, try to understand what they do. And my grandpa loved so much music. So he showed me just the snapping, one finger snap on the drum, and slowly I tried to figure out how to do and what to do, and to hear something in the music in the cassette or vinyl, and then try to figure out what they're playing there. Yes. And should I continue, because it's like a long answer? If you want me to go till today.
we can we can arrive step by step. I
Yeah.
mean, okay. Then you found that you discover the drum. I know the story in the nature. So if you like to
Yeah.
just
Okay.
to
So the age 8 or 10, I don't remember. I just found a small drum, like this frame drum, really small, like 8 inch. I found it in the nature, like next to home, like in the park or garden and stuff like that. And I was curious. I was curious to know what should I do with this one. Yes, what should I do with this one? And because till then I was playing darbuka with snapping, Turkish darbuka, old Turkish darbuka, and then I took this drum and I tried to put this snapping on top of this one, same position actually, because I didn't know it's upright that time. Yes, so I was kid, like 8 or 10, as I said, and yeah, and then I start to put some fingering, and actually it was difficult to create the sound out of this small drum. It was natural skin. So, and then I discovered, okay, maybe I warm up, and then I have more chas and more doom and stuff like that. It was very, very little doom because it's a small drum, like a rick, let's say. And from this drum, actually, I start my frame drum journey till today, because I didn't know the name of this drum is Tof Miriam, which belongs to Jewish culture in the Bible, let's say.
Bible, yes.
Yeah, from the Bible and stuff. I didn't know that time. Slowly, I discover the music, the technique, the name, and the whole theory and everything. So in Israel, we have like more than 70 culture, and slowly, I start to go. I start, I was looking for a teacher for this kind of drum, and I didn't find, of course. And I start to meet people around, who came to Israel, like old drummers, or not only drummers, even musicians from different places from Middle East. Let's say from Iraq, I had like a great Rick teacher, passed away unfortunately, and from Yemen, from Morocco, from Iran, from India, from Uzbekistan, what else? Um, some more, I don't remember, but really a lot. So, as you understand, I didn't found a specific teacher for this drum. So I was collecting techniques and ideas for this from these cultures, who played different drums, for example, tabla or tombak or dore, and I was collecting and think, take the flavor of their music and try to put it in this drum, in my frame drum, and then slowly I create originally technique, like something similar but not the same, like this, because that it's just a different instrument. So yeah, and then slowly I start to play with people around with this drum. So it was difficult because nobody knew this drum in Israel that time. So so when I said, okay, I play Tov Miriam, so people were laughing. Why? Because Tov Miriam was belonged to teachers in the kinder children garden, like, so the young, so they call them after the break, or they, it just for a sign. Yes, just make noise with this. So how come you play this drum? You know. So, but slowly now, luckily everyone is playing. I'm super happy about that, to see it's totally grow up, and amazing. It's really
Yeah, and
super
also
beautiful.
thanks to the work that you did. So actually, as far as I know, as far as we understand, you people is used to see you and to listen to you in your own style, very unique, very you. I mean, with very fast finger roll techniques and also this dynamics and metrics. I mean, the style that it's identify you, but as which you develop during the years. But as far as I understand, you also come from the traditional music, the traditional Arabic music, or the traditional music of your country. So I would like to ask you, what's the link between the language that you use on the frame drum and the traditional way of playing frame drum? How do you, why and how you went far from this, or it's just developing? How do you think about that in your language?
Super, very good question. Thank you very much. See, uh, I mean, let's see how I start this. Okay, the traditional music. Let's talk about traditional music. Yes, of course. I was playing a lot with the Iraqi. Uh, it's like Arabic Jewish people. Yeah, who came from Iraq, from Egypt. So they're Jewish, but they live just next street, next. In the city I grew up. So I was playing with them a lot, and and then I was studying the Arabic music, the classical Arabic music. So, you know, as a drummer, as a percussionist in the Middle Eastern music, Arabic music, Turkish music, you have to follow melody. You have to follow the melody, and you have to even follow the words the singer sing, and to really be careful, and not be careful, like be aware where you play the doom. The doom is super important in Middle Eastern music, super important. Yes. So, and also dynamic, and also after all of these, you have to design your playing with the Middle Eastern music, design your fingers and your playing, and make a small dynamics inside the short cycle. So we have cycle of 4 or 6, 8, some high 10, and between the dooms you have to create your dynamic, and if you ask me, from this understanding, all the fast fingering came out. Yes, because you have to uh, create small dynamics in the small places. So it's not like you can play a composition of a 48 beat. This is not exist in Middle Eastern music. Yeah, okay. So I like that a lot, and this is my main uh, my main music, and I love this so much. And in Middle Eastern music, I feel free and open and very creative. So over the years, I play with Bustan Abraham, which is a band with it's a mix culture band, let's say, Middle Eastern, and then instrumental. And then I was like 18. I started to play there, 18, 19. And then they asked me to make a solo. Yeah, just make a solo. And 9 beats or 7 beats or what else? Like a Y, 10 beats. And I said, bah, I don't know. What do you mean solo? I play the oud, play ney, and play the violin, and then I will join you and I'll make a solo on top of you. Because this is the original of Middle Eastern music. So you play with people and you make interpretation to the music. So it's all improvisation, yes? So okay, so I went home and I said, okay, let's see, let's think, what should I do that, like, not to be embarrassed in front of people? Yeah, so you have to make something serious. And slowly I start to think, what is this? For example, malfouf. Everybody knows, yes? What is malfouf? What is this maksum? What is this samai? It's just a name, right? If you go to next village, it's a name. They will call it maybe different. In Italy, very, very clear. Yes, you go from here to there, Tamburello and Tamburiata or whatever, a lot of names. Same here. So I understood that I have to go back, listen to music without any names, and understand the beat, the main beat, and then understand what is the layer we play. So what is the layer is the small microbeat, the microbeats between beat number 1 to number 2. So it could be takita, takita, tanegina, taket, tanegina, dum tanegi. So you can go many different spaces. Let's say the main one will be 4 to 1. Takatiki, 1 to 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. So from that idea that I was, like age 20 or something, and I said, okay, I want to create my malfouf, my shape, like a rhythm, like it's like a groove, like repeated, and I will call it with a different name, and I will create my own rhythms, and then I start to develop things. Yes, this is the small seeds, but today, of course, I go more and more. But this is the back what happened when I was young, when I was thinking, because I also understood. See, if you play the oud or any instrument, the kanun, so you have the scales. If you play the piano, you have the scales. Yes, so you have the harmony. What about the drums? What do we have? Like just feelings. This is nice. Feelings is the best. I know. Whatever you feel this moment, you play super. But if if people want you to talk about your playing, what do you say? What I feel? I feel nice, our condition, super good. Doesn't work like that. Yes. So in my way. But at the same time, I say improvisation is super important. I'm coming from improvisation, but organized. Organized, yes? So in the concept of drum solo, which does not exist in the old Middle Eastern music, so today, yes, in this concept of soloing, you have to find a frame, like, something organized that you can be relaxed and play in a nice energy and not sweating all the time after your solo and missing the one.
Yeah, always, always.
Or whatever, yes, or missing the cycle, yes. It's possible that you're missing the cycle, okay, many other problems are coming all the time, but at least you know where you go. Yes, when you go out from your home, you open the door, you know where you go, right? So if you have a solo, you start the first doom, first beat. So you have to know where you go. You start your way, and then you say, okay, I go there, and then tell your story. And then I understand I have to write stories. And then I create um, a language by influence of South India, and I call it Manegina. Yes, it's a little bit different as far as I know, because I had the pleasure to go and make a master class there in Bangalore. They asked me to come and to talk about my way of playing, my way of composing. And I went there and I see, okay, that's the difference. Yes. So the difference is in my way of playing, let's say I'm looking for a groove, which is coming from Middle East or for West. Yes. You just play a groove. So you repeat this. That's a groove. And then I go out from two improvisation, two compositions. Yes. So it's a little bit different between South India to here. And also the notation, that the way I write is also a little bit different, because I don't write every small details I play. I just write naked
The
melody
structure.
structure. On top of this, I am putting my techniques, my colors, my dynamics, all these things. You see, you ask a question and I answer so long, so I'm sorry about that.
No, why? No, no, you, no, that's not. You answered very good, and you also opened the topics and you widespread the topics.
Yeah.
So it's
So,
perfect.
yeah, I mean, if you want another question, so we go different directions.
Different
Or,
direction, yeah, okay. But we also we keep talking about frame drums and about
oh,
you.
sure, yes, yes.
Frame drums, and about that, I would like to connect to what you said and my previous question, because as I said, you developed a very personal way of playing, which is did and structured also with some technical stuff, very fast and very difficult, which we appreciate so much. And but I would like to ask you, because now, as you said, the frame drums are very spreading all over the world. And
Yes.
and this is very nice. This is the best. One thing that it's impressive or should be impressive for the people is about technique. So the faster I go, or maybe the some showing, it's how can I say that the people want to go more in the technique, to go very fast and difficult stuff, and this is what make me impressive to the people. So do you think it's like that? What's your opinion on the musical scenario in the frame drum, generally the frame drum musical scene today? Because people like you, like Glenn Velez, like Murat, other big masters, influenced a lot, lots of new generation of frame drummers. And do you like it? Do you think it's going in the right way in your opinion, or maybe something? I don't know. What's your opinion on the frame drum scene in the world now?
Yeah. See, in the ocean, in oceanus, there is a lot of fishes, a lot of fishes. So I think we just put our music from love, total love, that's for sure, only love, and then we give. Yes, we give, and then every fish go in different direction, and everything is okay. Is everything is okay. See, so I it depends what it's just a matter of art and taste you know so if you like this one, okay, go for this one. If you like the other one, go for this one. It depends what what's what is your way, what is interesting, in what are you interesting about. Yes, you want to play like in like just techniques, which is very, you know, very fast techniques, and this is okay, but you have to know what is the direction and what is the end of this journey. Yes, so sometimes when you said I see people playing very fast, my heart is a little bit with them. Why? Because I know probably one day there will be in a like one-way street, no back. Yes, so at least you have to know a little bit theory, so you understand what you do. Yes, so this is good for you. This is good for you. I mean, for me, it's fine, whatever you do, but this is good for you. Just a little bit of theory, like to know about the cycles, about the subdivisions, about, you know, about the idea of this. So you don't have to maybe follow crazy compositions and stuff like that. This is okay. You can take just a little bit here and there, but at least know what you play. So see, frame drum is a melodic instrument. That's the way I see. It's a melodic instrument. It attracts many people. Why? Because of the overtones of the an overtone create a melody, and then people attracted that so much. Also myself. Yes, I'm getting when I, you know, when I just create my melody out of this drum without any other instrument, and so, but you have to understand that and work with that. So I think everything is, it's okay. It's good if playing so fast and playing and other guys want to just the theory and just to understand what's going on. It's perfect. But I tell you example. It's like improvisation and composition. It's the same. Improvisation here, composition here. Our mouth, it's in between. So if you want to talk in a right way, in a polite way, in a nice way, so you have to bring everything here. So it will be in the middle, not here and not here, here. So you connect these two. Perfect to all of us. Not only in music. Yeah. So, I mean, this is super nice. So you feel, try to think and present it in a nice way from here. So I think this
That's
is, yeah,
Thank you. Last question, because we have just a few minutes.
please.
I know that you established the school in Haifa,
Yes,
and I know because I was there, and I hope to
yes.
come.
Hopefully,
I hope to come very
yeah,
soon
me too.
again.
Yeah,
So I would like to ask how is going. Are you satisfied with that? Why did you establish the school, and how is going, and what's your approach in teaching and so in the music?
yeah. So I think in the last 15, 16, 17 years, I'm not sure. I'm teaching in Crete, in Labyrinth Music, at the School of Frost Delhi, and I had like many students all over the world. And at some point, I felt like I have an advanced student like you, Francesco, and advanced people, and it's coming. I cannot teach them in a perfect way because it's a big group normally, and it's very difficult to give to share this group for a specific level. So I had a dream, and I made it to open a small place for small groups, maximum 8 people, and to give a personal teaching uh, and to make classes for different levels, beginners, medium, and advanced. And so I opened a school in Haifa, which is a beautiful city because in Haifa we live in peace, Arab and Jews together, and it's super. For me, it's symbolic also for my music because I'm into to to peace normally all over the world, not only here. So so this is a symbolic also for me how to open this in Haifa. So I opened it, and I had to say, before the Corona days, I had a great time. Great. Also, Francesco, you came with my best student from Russia, Belgium, Italy, I think also from Israel. It was super, super cool and amazing week together. I think you can say also. Um, so, but also beginners and also medium level, and I'm super happy with that. Unfortunately, now the school is not that working because of this time in the
Yeah,
world.
sure,
Yes,
sure.
yeah. So I'm going there. I'm keeping myself. I'm going some teaching in the Zoom, and I'm practicing alone there. I love the place, and I'm dreaming about
Very
this
nice.
day. Yes, yeah, I love the place. I don't want to close it. Yeah, I'm waiting. I'm still optimistic about future, and I think the corona will take a specific place that we can deal with that, because I don't think
Yeah,
it will disappear, but
yeah.
maybe we'll find a way to meet again and to play together again and to travel and to
That's
have
what
you
we
in
miss.
Haifa. Yes,
That's
yes.
what we miss. And by my side, I think I can say that it was one of my best thing I did in my life, not because we stay together, okay, but also because it worked. I can tell you that the composition I create for the Frame Drum Academy that we played last night all together in the ending of the concert actually is inspired by the work we did in 17 beats with you in Haifa.
Oh, super.
So I create a
Uh,
composition on that.
super.
Exactly.
Yeah. It
Okay.
was amazing. It was super nice.
Super nice. Super
Yeah.
nice. Then I will send you the link for the composition because it's
I would
recorded so
love.
you
I
can
would
hear.
love. I would love to. Yes.
Zar, thank you so much. For me, I don't know what to say. For me, it's special as always, but I hope that also the people, I'm sure that the people is watching enjoy this chat, this conversation. I really hope that we can meet together soon, very soon. And
Hopefully.
for now, the best and have a nice summer. And yeah, for let's questions, let's write in the chat and then we will answer you. So
Super.
big applause to Master Zohar Fresco.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Big love. Thank
Big
you.
love.
See
See
you.
you.
Ciao, ciao.
Ciao
Ciao.
Zohar. Grazie.
Ciao, ciao. Grazie.
And we, okay. Okay, so for the last spot of this day of Tamburi Mundi International Broadcasting live in the world. And as usual, in the last spot, we talk about what is going to happen in the Iverk in the night. So the live concert we will have here. And tonight, the name of the concert is Moves and Grooves. There were little changing in the program, in the cast. And so now we have the stars of the concert of tonight. So Jason De Assis, Yashar Joshkun, Malika Joshkun, and Murat Joshkun.
Also Joshkun.
Murat, our boss. So, and there will be also Bettina Castano, which will dance, and Cairullo Dadoboy, and Utashimi.
And Espina.
And Espina, the guitarist, yes, which will accompany the dancing. So tonight it's about, I think, grooves, rhythm and groove, movement and dance, which mix together. So who would like to explain what is going to happen tonight?
The boss.
Well, maybe shortly, as Francesco mentioned, we had a small change in the program, but we decided to do the program more or less in the same idea. So unfortunately, Tamara McCall and Ollie McCall and their son, Louis McCall, they cannot come. Tamara has is seriously ill. Unfortunately, that was just happened yesterday, and so the whole family, because this is the disadvantage of a family band, if one is involved. So from here, we hope everything will go fine, and and instead, Tamara, we invited Bettina Castagno and Espina. So Bettina was here several times with her program, and so she's building also the bridge between rhythm, between movement, dance, and and we were lucky that she can come, because normally she lives in Sevilla, but now she was in the Switzerland. We just asked her, and she could manage to come here. And we will rehearsal since the morning. We are rehearsing the program, and so this is just an explanation about the cast. And
so I understand that there will be some rhythms and grooves coming from different parts of the world where this kind of dancing, I mean, all over the world dancing is very important, but there are some parts where it's very, very rooted. So for Bettina in Spain with the flamenco, it's very, very rooted, and also in Brazil with Gilson, and also in Turkey as was representing. So we will see a mixing of these rhythms going together, or there will be some parts, each part, and then together.
Exactly, yeah.
Like that.
Yeah. And also, I mean, movement is included already if you play drum, right? So you cannot play drum without movement. I mean, at least you have to move your hands.
Sure.
And also, so the question is how I move my hand. I can move my hand like, I don't know, like a metronome, boom, 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 boom. Yeah, so that can be also has a meaning, right? When I play like this, or I play like this. Yeah.
Yeah.
So movement is very important when you play percussion in general. So the one movement in the hand, the other movement is in the body. And also move the drum, because we have, especially frame drums, compared to cajon. Okay, you can move the cajon backwards, forwards, yes, but especially frame drums, pandero, something. is also always in movement. So, I mean, this is not something new that we invent at Tamburi Mundi, but we always are doing some focus, you know, say, okay, listen, we take now pay our attention to this idea of movement in the playing, movement in with instruments and with dance. So that was the idea of the evening. So for this, I was thinking Gilles is also very because his whole body is moving. When he starts, it's like and Gilles, I don't know, maybe you can talk a little bit about the program.
Yeah, about dance, because I'm working last I think many years, since many years with dance together in many festivals in Vienna, in Bolzano, and it's like more or less that you play with your eyes. You have to see what dancers are doing, and you accompanying is a very nice thing. It's not the same like a solo, because in solo you do what you want, but if you are with dance together, I mean, it's like a symbiosis between them both together. And it's a kind of giving and taking. It's a very nice. That's why I actually I just finished my second CD for dance called Percussion for Dance 2. And in this spirit, I was playing alone in the studio, but I was thinking about what the dancer were doing. And that's really a great thing to work with movement, to see the movement and interpret the movement as you want with your drums. It's a very nice thing.
So I'm thinking that I'm making a comparison with the concert we saw last night, which was spirituals, more connected to the movement of soul, to the movement of mind, but also we saw a meeting of different mystical, spiritual cultures mixed together. So tonight we will go around another way of mystical things, but more connected to the movement of the body. So I think it's very nice. Also, very nice connection in the program. And also, I saw yesterday Gilson making the workshop on the body percussion, and I really enjoyed this. But what I would like to ask is that, as yesterday, there are different culture meeting together. And now there are different way of dance and way of feeling the movements mixing together. How was this in the process of creating the repertoire for tonight? Did you find difficult to mix, for example, Spanish dance and Brazilian dance to the Turkish, or it was easy? How was the process that brought you to build the repertoire for tonight?
I think just a small thing. Peter Gabriel, for many years, maybe give you an answer to you, because Peter Gabriel made a CD called One Word, One Voice. When all artists from the whole world, Japan, Brazil, Oriental music, India, are playing like mixed music, one after the other. It's amazing what's the result of it. How they were so far and at the same time so close together. It's really amazing. How to the music from the whole world you can put it together, and even you can. I should not, when I play with Murat, for example, I don't adaptate, I just play my music, and Murat, his music, and it's fit together. It's amazing how these things are fitting really together. And it's very nice to see that we are all rhythms of the world and maybe the same roots, because it's really very nice to hear that, how it sounds, and these instruments, all these grooves all together.
Yeah. And I think one important thing is that your colleagues or your the one who's you play with, he has to understand his own music. For example, Gilles, I know, I trust him. he's very stable in his Brazilian world of rhythms. And also he's able to explain me. So the communication, of course, the communication is on the musical level, but he also is able to explain me and to choose maybe some rhythms that are more easy to connect, because he is experienced with non-Brazilian music.
Yeah.
So he understands, okay, maybe this is not good, or too complicated, or it takes too long. So that's the same way my experience teaching in Germany, working with non-Turkish people. So I understand, okay, when I have to play with an Italian, for example, I know what is working easily. If I work with a Brazilian, because I have experience with Gilles many years, I know which pattern maybe come together. And so it's also the right thing you should choose. It should not be very complex, you know. It depends. When you have a project that you say, okay, we meet every week, we work together, so you can go very deep. But if you have a meeting that is like a project, so then you have to choose the right material. And I think this is one of the most important things, that the right material for the right people, for the right moment. And so this makes the music light. This makes the body move, because if this starts to groove, if you as I said, if it's too complex, you are too busy. And so that is I think what we are in this field. Also Gilles, as I said, and Bettina also, because she worked a lot with Indian musicians, with Spanish musicians. I mean, but she's a cellist, so with Turkish rhythms, she's so with 9/8 rhythms, everything. So she understands many things. And Khairulo, for example, he is also starting since some years. He comes to Tamburi Mundi. He already have really this open mind, understand and translate it to his language. And so this is a meeting here.
So because you mentioned that, I think that we should invite him also here, because I saw him here. So if you want
yes,
to,
Khairulo is also here. You can come.
Khairulo, please join us. Applause to Khairulo Dagoboev. Okay, yeah, I think it's better. Thank you. Now I'm very professional announced.
Yeah.
To go to the news. Yeah, perfecto. Khairulo, welcome.
Vielen Dank.
Dank, yes. So, would you like to explain also in German? Maybe we translate a little bit of your history. Where do you come from? The instrument you play, and what you're going to do tonight?
Yeah, from Tajikistan. Meine instrument in Deure, Tajik, Uzbekish, national instrument. Problem?
I think you can
Yeah.
speak in German or whatever. Yeah, if you prefer German, what? Just
Problem. Ein bisschen Deutsch.
Ein bisschen
Ja.
Deutsch.
Meine Instrument Deure Trommel und Skin und
yeah.
the rings.
So the rings instrument has
Deure play position. Zwei Position, drei Position. Yeah.
And I saw this is very acrobatic, because I saw you and
acrobatic and acrobatic Show. Ja, Technik und Show, ich glaube, das richtig. Attack, Technik, not interest. Ja, I should show ein bisschen Show. Attack, Technik und Rhythm, long rhythm, small rhythm. Yes, Tajik national rhythm.
Good. So, Carulo, as I would understand, is answering something that is connected to what Zohar says before about technique, because I asked him that I know that it's an acrobatic instrument, an acrobatic style, the doira, then he said yes, but this is just to show, because doira is an instrument that has very fast technique, but if you just do fast technique, people get bored. So you have to add to the fast technique this show to entertain and to make more involvement in the audience. Thank you, Carulo. So we're looking forward to see you tonight. And then I'm very curious to ask Yasha and Malika, just what are you going to play tonight and your role in this concert?
Yeah, I think we are like a little support for the percussion. So we don't play solo pieces, we just play with the other, and yeah, it's a nice experience for us. Also with this Brazilian music or flamenco or Tajik rhythms, and yeah.
So it's an occasion to get more in touch with other kind of music that usually maybe you don't play or you don't.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's nice.
Yes.
Good. So what else? So I think I mentioned everyone. Yes, Gelson de Assis, Bettina Castano and Despina, which will play tonight. Murat Joshkun, Yashar and Malika Joshkun, Kairulo and Guta Schilling. So tonight will be at 8 p.m. So come to the Werk to see this Moves and Grooves concert. Yesterday spiritual, tonight will be more groovy and more moving. And thank you also for being here today in this couple of hours we spent in the YouTube channel. It was a pleasure. See you around here in Tamburi Mundi next days or on the channel. Have a nice afternoon. A big applause to the crew that this evening will play for us. See you later or see you somewhere. Bye bye. Have a nice afternoon. Ciao.
Ciao.